Okay, well, it's been a while. I have no excuse. Traveling and this and that, haven't flown for a long, long time, it seems like. And now what we have is it's November something. Second, third, fourth, fifth, something like that. Doesn't matter, it's November, which means it's starting to get cold here. It's not bad yet. It feels bad because it's the first really cold day of the year. It'll feel great in the spring when we hit the 42 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll be like, yay! But for right now, it's kind of chilly. You may also notice we've had a very heavy snowfall. It turned all of the hangars white. Actually, this is a culmination of a 3-year effort to paint these hangars from blue to white. I preferred the blue, but I'll get used to the white, I guess. Anyway, as we can see here, or we can, let's see if I can get this to work. This is my new little camera that I use for close-ups on the sky view. And part of the reason for flying today is because I haven't for a long time, which isn't really terrific for the airplane. And part of it is to try to get acclimated to the cold this year. I failed that miserably last year. I didn't get out early enough. I didn't get out often enough, and I got to where I basically sheltered in place for the entire winter. I'm not sure I flew at all last year. You guys might know better than me. So we got 42 degrees, which is a good starting point. Also need to do a map update, so I'm going to take my little, this is just my little USB. This comes with the Skyview, but you can use any USB. And I put that in my little slot here. Let's see if I can make this record now. I haven't done this for so long. Record. Oh yeah, it seems like that's working. Yeah, there we go. So right down there, it's telling me that I need a new database update. Now, on the RV-12, there's a USB port way down underneath here, and on a lot of people's early serial numbers, that didn't work. Mine does work, but it's in an awkward location, and it can really only have one thing in at a time. So this dongle, this is for my ForeFlight. I don't really need it right now, but I'm just going to put it in there. And I'm just going to go ahead and plug this. This is just a little 4-port USB hub, straight from Walmart, flat cable, so it fits under real nice. So now, in theory, I should be able to go to these two buttons, old Tentor setup, and I want to update. I don't want to do system software, that's not right. Try this again. Maybe I have to take this one out for it to see it. Try it again. It should say load files. Well, we're not getting there. Okay. Try that again with just that.
Number 4844 Zulu Montero Port, right downwind midfield, runway 22, wind 260 at 7, altimeter 3026.
There it is. Now I have system software, which is now enabled because it sees this, and load files. This thing keeps going on screensaver. So I'm going to go down with the little finger here to load files. Oops, no I'm not. I'm going to go to the right to get to this screen. Then I'm going to go down to load files. And then to the right. And the one we have ready to go is file created. This one is only good for 3 more days, but we're going to go ahead and load it anyway. That's just putting a load and a yes. And now it's just going to load those files up there, and we'll have new map updates. Very little changes from update to update, but the things are free, so why not use them? That's a good way of looking at it. So this will load itself up. It'll come back and say I'm ready to go, and we'll be still sitting. We're still going to sit here and wait for the oil to warm up. That's going to take a long, long time. I did not put it on the preheater. I considered it yesterday. Hadn't really planned on flying today. This is kind of spur of the moment. But either way. So I'm going to shut this one down. There we go. And we'll finish up the weight. I can go ahead and put this back in and take this back out. Remember to take that home. It's amazing I haven't lost this. It's been lost. I shouldn't say I haven't lost it. It's been lost many times, but I do tend to find it. So we'll go back to exit, and here we are. We're ready to go. So now it says database no longer current. Press map accept. Okay, that makes very little sense. Huh. Okay. What else we got going on here? Check baro setting. Well, we haven't done that yet. We're waiting for the weather to come up. Here, we can watch how I do this too, just for funsies. I think this is record. Yep. Okay, so it's telling me to check the barometer setting because we're showing 780 feet and it should be 900 something. I can wait for the ground control to give me that information, the altimeter setting, or I can go in here and I can go to, I think, info. And here we are at KTZR, and we want weather, so I'm going to push the button over to the WX, and there it is. So it's 3025, and what we're showing is 3006, so I'm going to go to my barometer button, and we're going to go to 3025. And that should make that error message or that warning message go away, and it looks like a right altitude. So we'll just go back out. All right, so there we are. So avionics speaking, I think we're ready to go. We're at 93 on the oil, which isn't too bad. 94, it's coming up pretty quick. So we'll be ready to taxi here in just a couple minutes. I will say it was pretty hard to get the engine running. It hasn't run for I don't know how long. I could look in my logbook. So it's been sitting out here in the cold. And it really was not excited about any of this, but it's nice and smooth now. It's actually idling very, very smooth. I'm getting ready to start my annual. I do my annuals in November. And one of the things we do is balance the carbs during the annual. I'm reluctant to even touch it. This is a glass smooth idle. It feels perfect. And generally, idle is where you will feel that the carburetor is getting a little bit out of balance. So get a little bit of vibration or rough running. Doesn't seem to need it, but it is the annual, so we do it anyway. It's just part of the process. So I'm going to give these guys a holler. We're not really going anywhere. We're just going to go fly around a little bit, mostly just to work the engine, get the engine fully up to operating temperature, and let it be there for 15, 20 minutes, however long I feel like, and then we'll bring her back. Old ground, experimental 284 Delta Golf, T hangers, ready to taxi departing VFR westbound.
Number 284 Delta Golf, Bowling Ground, runway 22, taxiway taxiways Bravo 1 Alpha, wind 260 at 8, altimeter 3026.
Taxi Bravo Alpha to runway 22 for Delta Golf. And 3026, he says. Well, we'll go up a notch. There we go. He has the most recent information. Is it?
Number 44 Zulu, runway 22, clear for the option on the go, enter left traffic, report midfield downwind each pass.
All right, we're going to have touch and go traffic, but on departure that is no big deal at all. Very easy to fit into that. Yeah, let's see, we're already 113 on the oil, so 140. It's going up just fine. So 43 degrees is apparently just fine for not preheating the oil. Any colder than that, I mean, down in the below freezing, I'd want it preheated, right? So I'd just sit out here freezing, waiting for it to warm up. Let's see. Oh yeah, he's not here yet. So today, it's early yet. We fell back an hour, so it feels later than it is. But today at noon, there's a guy here at the airport that has been building an RV-12 IS, which is the injected engine. He actually started, he had a fuselage finished, and then he came out with the injected engine, so he sold off the finished fuselage and started over again. So he's been working on this thing for 5 years. And today is his first engine run, and I really like to be here for things like that. That is a really big day. As a builder, to be honest, as a builder, there is more stress involved in starting that engine the first time than there is in the first flight. Because there is so much that can go wrong starting that engine for the first time. In my case, we started the engine and it immediately started hemorrhaging oil out of the, I think it was the number one. Yeah, it was the number one valve cover gasket because, and I'm not pointing fingers here, I'm explaining what happened. Somebody had put that on there for me. We were putting the plane back together. He put it on there for me, but didn't final tighten it. And I don't know if he mentioned it to me and I forgot, or he didn't mention it at all, but in any event, a lot of oil gushing out of there, which was a big, big panic. I mean, it's like, great, there goes my $20,000 engine. But that was a relatively easy fix, although it was a mess to clean up. But bad things can happen the first time you start an engine, I guess. I mean, I was very nervous about it. I don't know if this other guy is. But they were going to be out here to see that today because that's a big day in a builder's life. And just seems, you know, I've been helping him out a little bit. He's an AMP. He knows what he's doing. So he hasn't needed much from me. He did have me come over yesterday and just take a look at the engine and see if I saw anything startlingly wrong, and I did not. It's a beautiful build. Everything was just top-notch. And it's actually kind of fun looking at an engine that's still clean. And I'm not saying my engine is dirty, but engines do get kind of a little patina of oil on them, or they just get sticky. They pick up dust and things like that, and they just never ever look like they do before you start them up again. So really looking forward to that. Just opportunistically flying this morning because I was going to be out here anyway, and you know, like I said, I need to start getting used to the cold weather. And the airplane needs to be flown. I'm going to total up my numbers for this year, and I hope it's more than 17, which is what I did last year. I really should be doing 25 to 50 a year to justify owning this thing. I am going to start flying the Civil Air Patrol planes a lot. That's coming up in the next month or so, so I'll be spending a lot of time in those airplanes. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen with this one, but that's it for now. I'm going to do a run up, and I'll light you up just before takeoff. Your run up was good. Engine is just still glass smooth. It's perfectly happy this morning. And I'm doing my free and correct. I'm doing my blah, blah, blah. Canopy lap for the third or fourth time. Make sure those vents are closed. We sure don't need any of that. I always have to check that fuel pump fuse because I'll take that out now and again if I'm working on, and I was working on the avionics. I had to pull the panel cover off and get this thing out because the little release screw had gotten hosed up in there. I had to pull the whole thing apart to get that fixed. And I like to take a look in there. It's the first thing I do in an annual is looking under there. There's never a problem in there, but you always look. You know, you could have wires chafing or whatever. So I basically started the annual, did all this. So everything's good to go. So we're free and correct, like I said. Everything, there's really not much to do.
Madison County traffic, code 4844 Zulu is now midfield of 22, requesting a full stop, 44 Zulu. Bolton Tower, code 4844 Zulu is now midfield of 22, requesting a full stop, 44 Zulu.
Where'd the tower go?
440, lost sight of you in the pattern now, looking right into the sun, I believe. Not in sight, runway 22, cleared to land.
Cleared to land, 44 Zulu.
And Bolt Tower, 284 Delta Golf, ready for takeoff, runway 22 at Alpha 1, departing VFR westbound.
For 284 Delta Golf, Bolt Tower, hold short, runway 22.
Hold short, 224 Delta Golf. I thought he might let me sneak out. She's not even on base yet. I can't even see her. She's so far out there. I have no idea where she is. That's all right. We get the engine nice and warm. I cannot see her at all.
Bolt 44 Zulu, still not in sight. Report turning base.
Honestly, yeah. Where are you?
Gold 44, we got you on the right base there. Right base, runway 22, clear.
Oh, that's what's wrong. Okay, I thought he said left. My
44 Zulu
bad.
is now turning right base of 2244 Zulu.
Well, he must have thought she was over there because he said he couldn't see her in the sun. So I guess she's the only one who knew what was going on. It happens. Okay. Well, now we know where she is. She is pretty far out there, but it won't be long. And you get to see this nice little airplane. This is a cute little Colt. This is a 1950s, 60s fabric-covered wing, welded steel fuselage. Very, very classic airplane. Originally was a tail dragger. They stuck a nose wheel on it because that's what people wanted. They liked the B-24 bomber. Said, hey, that nose wheel is really cool. So here it comes. So they look a little malformed on the ground. They had to move the landing gear forward to the center of gravity. So now they're really, really short coupled. So it looks I think they call them milk stools, flying milk stools or something like that. It's not derisive. It's just kind of a awkward looking airplane. Oh, here she comes. This is a full stop, so she should be able to make Alpha 3 easy enough. Down low. She lands in like I landed. She's going to get right on the numbers. I'm impressed. I like good tech. Very flat right there. Very, very flat. Dragging it in. Fighter approach. All right, here it comes. There's our cute. Look at that cute little thing. Isn't that nice? I like them. Big flare. Flare, 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 flare. Boom! Tire smoke. Big one. Hard on the brakes for Alpha 3. And we should get our clearance here any second. Any second. There she goes.
Number 44 Zulu, turn right at Alpha 3. Taxi to parking via taxiways Alpha and Charlie. Monitor ground to park.
Alpha 3, Alpha Charlie, monitoring ground.
My turn. Oh, she's still on the runway. Wow. Yeah, that's not the way I do it when I know somebody's waiting.
Number 4 Delta Golf, runway 22, turn right on course, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 22, right on course, 4 Delta Golf. So turn right on course or really hurry up and get right on course. It's all in how you stress the verbs. All right. So first takeoff in a long time. Should be not really a big issue. Where's the wind? Wind is really just a little bit off from the right. Here we go. Little right aileron, there we go, right into my leg. That was perfect. Perfect crosswind takeoff. I give myself a 9 out of 10 on that one. I take a point off for bitching about how long it took her to get off the runway. Oh, wow, is it, well, crystal clear today. Gorgeous. Ooh, I'm leaking air. Oh, I forgot to winterize my canopy. I have air leaks around the edges of my canopy that I plug up in the winter because it gets kind of chilly. But what a gorgeous morning. I can see all the way to the horizon. Crisp and clear. It's the kind of day that you notice you have a smudge on your glasses. You know? All right, we should make our right turn out like we told them we were gonna. Somebody's been making funny patterns out in the cornfield. I guess when they were harvesting, they drove around and I guess they would leave a row and go empty into the truck, and it leaves kind of a weird little pattern. My yard looks great. I got the final mow done. Looks really, really nice. Don't have to worry about that again until spring. My red maples are bright, bright, bright red in the sun. That looks great. Wow, it is a pretty day. Yeah, why don't we do a little looking around? Well, let's wait until we get a little higher up. I get too distracted by the camera sometimes. But yeah, this is worth sharing. We'll get the autopilot on here. We'll go up to, let's say, 3,000. And we want autopilot up. And we'll just go on, we'll just take whatever we have for heading, or track. Let's get that centered and track. There we go. So I shouldn't need to do a thing. How'd I bump that? There we go. Well, track's not taking me where it should. I push the little button to center it. There it goes. Now we're cooking. All right. Take a look around. Not much going on. How long till 3,000? We're at 27 minutes. Only 300 to go, so we'll be leveling off. I won't need all this power. Go ahead and pull that off now. And let's see. How do I make this work? This do it? I think it did. Okay. Let's see. Well, it's too late to look at my yard. Not that anybody cares about my yard. But nice crisp morning. I'm just picking up now that we're a little higher, I'm picking up just a little bit of haze. You can kind of see it. You can kind of see the haze layer out there. But I love the fall. Autumn is the best time to fly. Let's pull some power off of this. It's starting to accelerate pretty rapidly. And what are we doing? 108 knots indicated, 110 knots indicated. We're going pretty good. Nice cold day. The engine's quite happy. I guess I could get my foot off that rudder. There you go. Engine's nice and happy on a day like this. Wing is nice and happy. I'm nice and happy. Everybody in the airplane is happy. It's like a fairy tale. All right. Turn this off and off, I said. Okay. And again, we're really just flying around. Oh boy, that breeze. I'm going to put my gloves on. I'm going to go do some stalls and things like that. I'm going to have to get a checkout in the CAP plane, the Civil Air Patrol plane. They've got a 182 and a 172, both with Garmin 1000s. Nobody flies the 172. They all want to fly the 182. And the Air Force, who owns those airplanes, wants hours on all of the airplanes. If you're going to have an airplane, you got to put hours on it. So I'm volunteering to use the 172. There's a number of reasons for it. One, the Garmin 1000 is conceptually very similar to a Dynon Skyview, but they are different interfaces, different buttons, different everything, so I'm going to have to learn that. I flew many, many, many hours in 172s. About 15, 20 years ago, I did about 10 to 15 hours in a 182. I think I'm going to be more comfortable in the 172 initially. It's also located at Rickenbacker Air Base, which is easier for me to get to than Don Scott, which is inside the outer belt of Columbus, and it's just it's a niggling drive to get there. I just don't like doing it. I would much rather go to Rickenbacker. It's a much more laid-back airport. Don Scott deals with a lot of students. I haven't been there in years, so this may be unfair, but they used to be jerks. They may be nicer now, I don't know. And the 170 is cheaper, so I'm not paying anything for the airplane as long as I'm doing proficiency training or anything like that. All I have to pay for is my gas. And we get about 80 cents a gallon off on that because being a federal asset, we don't pay any federal taxes on the fuel. So basically, I'm renting a 172 for basically 8 gallons an hour times about 32. I'm getting a 172 with a Garmin 1000 for $30-some an hour. And that's not bad. And the guy I'll be flying with, there's a CFI. You've seen him. He's the guy that flies that military-looking RV-6. His name is Mike. You've seen him off my wing before. It has the U.S. Army on the... Okay, well, anyway, that guy, he joined up right behind me. He's a CFI, and they're desperate for CFIs because, people want to use them. So I'll be flying around with him quite a bit, but we kind of put ourselves in a natural progression. I told him, go first. Go get your check ride. Go get what you ever need to do to qualify to fly with me, and then we'll start flying together. And to me, that seems like a multiplier. He's going to be able to fly with me. He's going to be able to fly with other people that are waiting for a CFI. So should be spending quite a bit of time in the 172. I hope to get, basically VFR proficient, which shouldn't be too much work. It's just learning a new airplane and a new panel. Then I want to get instrument current because I have not been instrument current in forever. So I have the rating, but I've not been current in forever. I want to buy the Sporty's online training course. It's $250, which is going to be hard to come up with, but I feel like my book knowledge is far, far, far behind my actual how things work in the airplane. Although LPV approaches, all these brand new GPS approaches, I've been kind of sort of doing them on my Skyview. Now I need to start doing them very formally and very correctly, and while talking to ATC and all that. So it's going to be quite a few hours of just getting back to instrument current. Mike is not a CFII, but he doesn't need to be. He's basically acting as a safety pilot for me while I learn. But he's also an airline pilot, so he knows a lot of things about flying into big airports and things like that. So I would like to fly into Cleveland Hopkins. I'd like to fly into Cincinnati, big airports, and get a feel for, dealing with the approach, which is it's pretty much like dealing with any other approach. Where it really, really gets different is on the ground. The airports are so big, and there are so many taxiways. They go, taxiways are named by Alpha, Beta, Charlie, Delta. They have so many that they go Alpha, Bravo, Alpha, Charlie, Alpha, Delta. There's so many of them. So easy to get lost. So easy to get in the way of a big jet that's in a hurry because he's on a schedule, he's got revenue and all that, blah, blah, blah. And I really would like to have somebody very, very experienced with me when I do that. So basically trying to up my game. That was part of the reason to get into the CAP was to fly those airplanes and to fly them more professionally than I do this one. The other reason is the esprit de corps. I came back from Whiteman Air Base after flying the B-2 bomber. The squadron, those guys are so tight-knit. It's so professional. It has the thickest layer of professionalism you're going to find. I think they're just amazing. I came back wanting to be part of that again. I knew going into Civil Air Patrol is not the Air Force. These are guys that have full-time jobs. It's basically 2 meetings a month and whatever you can fit in other than that. So it's not... I didn't want the frantic high pace. I didn't want the, check your gig line on your uniform. As a matter of fact, I have a meeting tomorrow. I'm doing a short presentation on what's called the corporate uniform, which is very simple. It's gray pants, black shoes, black socks, black belt, and a blue shirt, blue polo shirt. It's very, very simple. You can make one out of whatever's in your closet. I'm not sure if you need the CAP patch embroidered on there. I bought mine from Vanguard for $35, which is expensive for a blue polo when you got Sam's Club in your neighborhood. But they already had the patch signed on there and yada yada. So I'm doing a little presentation on that, which is really, everybody knows how to wear the corporate uniform. The guy that's running the wing now, or the squadron now, is he's trying to be very inclusive. He doesn't want to be the guy that does everything and everybody has to sit and listen to him. He's getting other people to present, which gets you more involved in the meeting, and it's going to make me pay a little bit more attention to the minute details of the corporate uniform. Is there any gotchas or anything like that? Like that. So the meetings are 2 hours every 2 weeks. They feel like they take forever because I have to drive into town, and it's late for me. I don't get home till 9:30, 10 o'clock, which is bedtime. I probably haven't eaten dinner. They're interesting meetings, but it takes self-discipline to go to them. They're not mandatory. I could easily just skip them all, but that's not the guy. That's not the CAP guy that I want to be. I'm going to go head north. We're just heading out west here. I'm going to take it north, so we don't have to go too very far. Because I'm really just exercising the engine. It's up to, I changed subjects on you there, didn't I? Up to 169 degrees on the oil, which is probably all I will get until I cover over. The oil cooler's right out front, the bottom of the cowl. In the winters, I put an inch or so of aluminum tape, and I don't mean plastic duct tape, I mean aluminum tape. I cover up that oil cooler a little bit to let this temperature get up into the green. So right now, we're not even into the green. So that's not my actual operating temperature. It's probably not doing for the oil what I want it to do for the oil, which is get any moisture out of it, things like that. So I guess at anything, well, it's 35 degrees up here too. So one of the things I need to do is go ahead and put that tape up, put that tape on there, and basically get ready for the season. And I guess while I'm out, I could head up to Madison County. Actually, we're very, very close to Madison County, and do some touch and goes because my landings will have gotten rusty. So let's do that. Let's kick off the autopilot. Well, let's not kick off the. Well, I already did. I did kick off the autopilot, so I'm flying. Let's go to map because I forgot. I think it's 1230, but let's go to info. Let's go to. Oh darn! Ugly Young Farmers isn't in here. That sucks. So let's see. I want to go exit. Oh shoot! How to do this? Info. Get down here. There we go. Okay. There it is right there. So let's do a direct 2 on that just to have it in space. Info. And it is 1230. So let's kick that over. And for their weather, we have, right down runway 27. Piece of cake. We are very well positioned for this. How far out are we? 3.5 miles. There's nobody around. We're up high, so I'm okay. I'm going to move off to the west a little bit so we can come in on a 45, and I'm going to start my descent. I'm going to make a call. That we're about, once we get about 4 miles away, just in case there's something I'm not seeing. Pattern altitude, I think
Mad River, Skylane 37 Sierras.
2100, I was right on that.
Downwind for
So we'll take this
runway
down to 2100.
27.
Just as a reminder.
Mad River.
Okay, Mad River, we don't care about him. All right, so we are 3.5 miles south. And I'm on 123.0, which is Unicom for K, Ugly Young Farmers. Learned to double check that through a mistake I made last year that I guess I'll never forget or forgive. And Madison County traffic, experimental 284 Delta Golf is 3.5 miles south, inbound for midfield left downwind, runway 27, Madison County. That was like a Game of Thrones story level. All right, so we're looking for 2100. We're looking for the airport. It's right in front of us. Can't possibly miss it. Last time I flew out of here was that flight down to Houston. I was not happy that morning. If you've seen the video, you'll remember why. All right, so there's 2600. We're doing good.
Mad River.
Mad River still okay.
Skylane 37
This
Sierras.
guy.
Turning left base for runway 27.
Okay, he's disappeared. We had traffic. Oh, there he is. 600 feet above us, head to the east. Okay, we don't have to worry about him anymore. And there's 24 for 21. 3 to go. I'm not making any heat. I guess it's making some heat, but it sure isn't much. It's really quite chilly. Anyway, I knew we were right at I knew we were at 3,500 RPM because this is where my engine resonates with the airframe and it gets a little bit rough. I can feel it. It's the RPM I can feel. It's tactile. It's haptic. All right, boy, it's nice and clear. I should be able to see any traffic if there is any. Oh, we're down below 2,100. Busted my check ride right there. Back up there. Get up there. Come on. There we go. Very close. There's 2100. Okay. Now we're where we belong. And actually we're at a good airspeed too, so that worked out well. Madison County traffic, 4 Delta Golf is entering midfield, left downwind 27, build touch and go, Madison County. All right, I don't know I'm talking so fast. There's nobody listening. Nobody trying to get a word in. All right. Wind right down the runway. Shouldn't have to worry too much about crosswind. We go ahead and get the flaps down. Notch 1, notch 2. Trim in. Throttle out. Okay. Should work out well. Down to about 70 knots.
Moving altitude.
Oh, still set real high. Madison County traffic, 4 Delta Golf left, base 27, touch and go, Madison County. Oh, it's pretty. There's the farm science review. It's like, looks like a model train set. Bright, shiny buildings. They need to be weathered or they don't look right. Why are you talking? Caution terrain. Oh, okay. There's 3,500. I can feel that. Madison County traffic, board up the call, final 27, touch and go, Madison County.
Airport, Sky 4391 Lima. Here's about 5 miles to the north. We'd like to do a straight-in long final to 21 left. Please be advised if anyone's in the pattern, please. 91 Lima.
What airport was that? I don't know. Not this one, though. Runway's wrong. Come on, get over here. Okay, we're looking for the numbers. Can't see them. This thing needs paint. I want to land right on the numbers. Nope, a little bit short. Damn it.
Traffic.
Flaps up. And away we go. That's too much trim. There we go. That wasn't too bad.
Clinton Airport, Scott 4391 Lima is now on a 2-mile long final, runway 21 at Clinton.
Ah, okay.
Mad River, Skylane 37 Sierras, entering left downwind for runway 27, Mad River.
Traffic.
And it's just me. Traffic, it's just me. I'm my own traffic. A one-man band.
Altitude.
Okay. Let's see what we got happening over here. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Okay. Madison County traffic. 4 Delta Golf, midfield left downwind, touch go, runway 27, Madison County.
Cincinnati West traffic, 75 Foxtrot, we're 4 to the east, going to enter the left base for 19er Cincinnati West.
Alright, get her down to flap speed. Notch 1, notch 2. Trim.
Mad River, Skylane 37 Sierras, turning left base for runway 27, Mad River.
Alright, let's pull the throttle and see what happens. Let's see if I can glide it in from here. Stop calling, there's nobody here. Madison County traffic, 4 Delta Golf, left base runway 27, touch and go, Madison County.
Leaving. Altitude.
Okay, we're still high, still high. Boy, this thing glides. Let's see what happens when we turn into the wind. Are you coming in? Nope. Hey. Hey. That's good trim. All right. Oh, this is looking iffy. I'm not sure we're going to make it. We're really going to start dropping now. We're into that wind. That's why we practice these. Boy, I don't think I'd make it. I don't think I'm going to make it. Wow. Well, I had the flaps down. I probably could have put the flaps back up. Try that again. All right, let's hit those. Oh, we're gonna go right over them. Right over them. Good, flaps are up. All right, one more. This time we won't drop the flaps. Boy, does this thing like to climb. 1,700 foot per minute, 1,500 foot per minute. Wow.
Approaching. Altitude.
Everybody likes this weather. Alrighty. All right, we're halfway down the runway, basically. So we lost our engine. Well, most of it anyway. It always has a little residual thrust. All right. What we can do this time. I reserve the right to use a slip, a forward slip if I need to. Where's that runway? There we go. Still seems a little early. Okay, well, that would be our normal turn. Let's go ahead and do that and see what happens. Because I reserve the right to do a forward slip, I don't have to keep all this altitude. I mean, I can keep altitude in the bank. Oh, that wind is much more, okay. That wind is more than I expected. But I think we're going to make it. Let's see what happens. I'm probably going to end up doing a little bit of a slip. But I think that's allowable. I'm going to let myself have that. All right, let's see what happens this time without the flaps. We're still coming down pretty quick. All right, let's see. I can get a feel for this. I'm trying to get a feel for it. I think we're doing pretty well. I don't think I'm going to have to slip. It would be ironic if this is the time I actually managed to hit the numbers. It's looking pretty good. Nah, we're going to be long. We'll be long of the number. No, maybe not. We're really coming down good here. Not too far off of. Oh, that wasn't bad at all. All right, what do I need to remember to do? Get that trim down. No, I don't. That was where it needed to be. Okay. Flaps are, well, I never put the flaps down, so flaps are up. Off we go. Let's head on back. Now let's let it climb. Wow. That's a 15-degree deck angle. Yeah, it's more like 10.
Approaching altitude.
Yeah, right quick, eh? All right, map. Direct 2, we can find it without it, but let's do it anyway. Recent. Bolton, direct 2. We don't need a GPS from here. Alrighty. Go back to 2500. Here we go. Next stop, Bolton. Might as well start listening out there. Now that Colt was a full stop, and I haven't heard, well, I wouldn't have heard anybody come in, but we weren't off frequency all that long, so probably going to have the airport to myself. I'm doing a little autopilot work on the way back, so I've just got us on a GPS nav and altitude hold at 2500. You get rusty on the radio, you get rusty on your landings, and you can get rusty on your avionics and how to set up the autopilot. Now this one was pretty simple. I just turned it on. Take your current altitude and start following the GPS, and then I brought the altitude down to 2500 because we were at 2600 by the time I did that. So, not really an advanced topic today, but I try to use the autopilot every bit as much as I can fly because you need to be able to do both. Now, it's not holding the altitude. We're well below 2,500. So, altitude, I don't know why it's not doing it. Up, please. Oh, it's set on vertical speed for some reason. Altitude, up. There we go. And that's what I'm saying. That didn't work right. I did something wrong. We're climbing back up now, though. So that's why we practice. There's Lily Chapel. There it is. Easy to see landmarks today. There we go, should level at 25. And we're on course. That's good. Seems to be working. Turn that off at any time now, I guess. Well, let's let it work a little bit. Traffic, 2,000 above. 5 miles away. Not likely to see them. More and more ADS-B equipped airplanes are showing up as we get closer and closer to the deadline. It's a nice thing, really. It's nice to be able to see them. And there's Lily Chapel. Bolton Tower, experimental 284, Delta Golf, over Lily Chapel, inbound landing.
Number 284 Delta Golf, Bolton Tower, report right downwind midfield, runway 22, wind 250 at 10, altimeter 3027.
Report midfield right downwind, runway 22, 4 Delta Golf. I gotta remember that because I screwed that up last time I flew. I was cleared into a left base and for some reason went up to the midfield left downwind. I was a little bit confused when I made my initial call, and I was too. So, interesting thing about the CAP, they're kind of like the airlines. They have sterile cockpit policy, which I think with the major airlines is anything below 10,000 feet, all you talk about is business. I'm instituting a within 5 or 10 mile radius of the destination airport or something that I have to think about. I'm going to institute a sterile cockpit, and I'm the one that needs to be sterilized. I'm the pilot. I'm the one that drives. If I'm talking, they're talking, right? So that's a new policy. Here I am talking to you within the sterile cockpit policy, but we're heading for midfield right now in 22. Just to make sure I remember that. There's that traffic, it's a Cessna. A couple thousand above us. Field right now with 2. I've been landing on 4. Every time I've flown recently, I've landed on runway 4. I haven't seen runway 22 in quite a while, so I have to make sure I haven't developed the habit of going to runway 4. All right, let's get the autopilot off here, and we'll fly it from here on out. Now the pattern altitude is 1800. Actually, it's 1701 or something goofy like that. Yeah, 1704, which is ridiculous. We'll do 1700 and just leave a little bit, just a little bit. 1704. Might as well dial that in. So altitude, we're looking at 1700. That's a little reminder for me, in case I can't remember anything quite that long.
Approaching altitude.
Approaching a lot of things. Altitude, airport reporting point. 1400. Might be able to see the patterns from the combine and the trucks when they finally pulled the corn out of the field. They don't harvest until late October, early November. It's ridiculous. I'm sure they have a reason. I don't know anything about farming. Okay. And we want to make our downwind right along Norton Road here. Here's my altitude. Go ahead and turn on the right downwind 22 and report it here and get to Alpha 3, which is midfield now. Under altitude again. Stay up there, stay up there, stay pattern altitude. That's better.
Full tower forward at the Golf midfield, right downwind runway 22.
Number 4 Delta Golf, runway 22, clear to land.
Clear to land runway 22, 4 Delta Golf.
Things are happening now. Okay. So we can get our flaps down. And because we already did our landing on the numbers practice, we'll land for Alpha 3, which I mean halfway down the runway. It's like 8 ball, I gotta call the pocket. Good to have goals. And measures. Anything over 70 knots, that background turns red, which means my true airspeed is getting ready to VNE, which makes no sense at all. And it's been that way for a long time now. And I keep checking for updates on the Skyview, and they keep not fixing this. Ooh, there's a nice bump there. Big updraft there. All right, we're going to take the set of double bars. So you got the numbers, the triple bars, the solid bars, the double bars. I want to touch down at or near the double bars. This is not a right down the runway wind, so it is shifted around or was never correct, one or the other. Got flaps down? Yep, we're ready to go. That's fine. Yeah, we're good all the way around here. All right, let's get it. They're straightened out here. Boy, it really wants a lot of rudder to keep them.
Traffic.
Oh, nailed it. Not on the center line, though. Damn it. Put on the right turn signal so he knows I'm going Alpha.
Number 4 Delta Golf, turn right, taxiway Alpha 3, taxi to parking, monitor ground.
Right Alpha 3, taxi to park, monitor ground, 4 Delta Golf.
Monitor ground 0.8, just to be complete. OCD about that. Okay, well, that was fun. I don't know why I don't do this more often. All right, well, nothing to see here. Thanks for riding along. It was very brave of you. Stay tuned. Oh, there's my car. I want to get, you can't see it very clearly, that little white splash on the back of my car is an RV12 decal. And I want to get another one of those. I want it in black because I want to put it on the back of my camper. And then I want another big decal go back there that says my other RV is an RV12 or my other RV is an airplane or something like that. In any event, stay tuned. I'm going to show you, in case anybody's interested at all, where I put the tape on the oil cooler to let that engine get a little bit warmer and up to operating temperature and all that. So that's coming right after this, okay?
Okay, so here are the two types of tape that go by the name of duct tape. This one is the fabric kind of thing, and that is a big no-no. This is the one you want. This is actually, see how shiny it is? It's actually thin aluminum with an adhesive back. So yes, no, no, emphatically no, yes, good boy. So here, let's back up a little bit so you can get, there we go. So we're gonna kind of zoom in on this. And there it is. And you can see I've only covered maybe an inch of radiator. And for this time of year, that's probably plenty. Maybe in the winter, the dead of winter, it's not gonna be enough. So I actually carry a second strip with me in the airplane. So if I fly off somewhere and I find out the oil's just not getting hot enough, once I land, I'll just put that second strip on there. Probably only another ½ inch or so. I've never covered it the entire way. I don't think I've ever even had to cover it halfway. But it's kind of a trial and error thing. And do not forget to remove it. Also, way up inside there is where the radiator is. And if I want to get heat in the cabin, that's going to come from the antifreeze. So I need to block off some of the radiator. Well, that actually is quite hard to do. You almost have to remove the cowl. You can reach up in there and you can kind of smear tape around up in there. The problem with it is, it works, but the problem is it's easy to forget. So there was a day I flew back from Put-in-Bay at 75 knots just to keep the engine from frying because I had forgotten to take that tape off of there. So be careful with that one.